Hello, everyone. Good morning. Hope you all are doing great. I am Mahbub, host of today's session, Meet the Global Leader. Uh, the objective of this webinar is to share the professional stories of an individual person, their journey from the student life to the person there right now, the things they have been doing so far, their professional lessons, so that our audience who are studying at university right now can get an insight and idea that how to develop different skills, how to implement skills in professional sector. It will actually help them so that before graduation they can develop some skills and knowledge to make themselves future ready. So today we have invited Ms. Shagun. She is the founder of Make Raves PR, and we're going to know a lot of things from her, some professional lessons and advice for the students. So Shagun, welcome to our session.
Thank you so much for having me. It's such a pleasure to be here. Honestly, all the good work that you guys have been doing. Recently, I think you also partnered with University of Canada.
Yeah.
So, all great initiatives. I'm so excited, that you're doing this. It's so helpful, as I always think that, when we when we're at school and that's the time where we, need the most guidance and mentorship, and that's what you're bringing to the table. So, really appreciate the initiative.
Thank you so much. Can you share a bit about yourself?
Sure. So I'm the founder of MakeRaves PR. MakeRaves PR, what we do is we empower tech companies to share compelling narratives on a global level. What we specialize in is getting our client stories featured in leading publications like TechCrunch, Forbes, trying to get them, on broadcast television to share their views on various things that's going in the industry that's relevant to their sector. How I started my journey is I used to be a tech journalist where I, was given the opportunity to write stories about Southeast Asia and India's startup ecosystem. I also wrote a little bit of Dhaka, a few startups in Dhaka like Cludio. I wrote about Kishwar, an amazing entrepreneur from Dhaka. Um, and that was one of it, and I also got to talk, have interview and write stories with Nas Daily, with Sequoia Capital, and that were the highlight moments.
Yeah.
Other than that, we at Maker's PR, we also we help in event management, and we've been part of global conferences like Dow, Tokyo, ETH, Barcelona. So we have um, a lot of so that brings a lot of you know bird's eye view into the media industry, to the communications industry. So yeah, that's overall in a nutshell what I do, and a little bit about myself.
Wow. So you are also volunteering during your student life.
Yes, I was. It's very funny because when I was in my student life, I had no idea like what I want to do, But I knew that I want to do something. I want to make money, but I didn't know like what it is that I want to do. So I applied in all kinds of places, right? So the first place that I got an internship opportunity. It wasn't an internship opportunity as such. It was more like like a short term role. I don't think most people know about it, but I was working in Singapore Fashion Week, and I just went there and I was like, okay, let's work. And I had to like dress up the models, and I was backstage. So that was that, and I did enjoy myself, but I felt like I wanted to do something more. So slowly, I started then looking at opportunities, and whatever came up I just took it. So it doesn't matter if it was an event, so it doesn't matter if it was journalism, I just took it up. So I started when I was still studying in Singapore. I started interning at this event called Slush. I don't know if
Yeah, yeah, like Finland maybe.
yes, yes, I'm sure you will know
Oh,
about it, but I'm not
yes.
sure.
Impressive. I mean, it's like a dream to go there. I mean, sorry to interrupt. The flashy and the
Oh, please go on, go on.
profile, profile of entrepreneurs or people. I mean, I think it's pretty huge. At
Yes,
least
it is.
I would suggest people that to visit their website. To it will help them to know a lot of startups, their ideas, their founders, and how did they start. It's a pretty much like rich insights and good with when learning um, insights from like sessions or learning stuff there.
Absolutely, and completely agree with you. And the amazing thing about it is it is completely volunteer run. So this all these volunteers are working towards getting such a successful. I think one of the most successful tech conferences up, and everybody is so motivated. So I had the opportunity to work there, and it was such a great opportunity for me, and that's how I kind of started getting more into this tech industry, because what I saw there, it it completely shifted my mindset about what can c- can be working with visionaries, and how great companies are building. And it's just so amazing to talk with people, and especially be a part of that team. So that was really like game changing for me. And then after slush, that's where also when you're interning, then you as you talk with people, as you network with, converse with people. And it's not even networking, it's just like talking with people, sharing your backgrounds, and telling them what you're doing. And that's how I landed my first like proper internship opportunity in a Singaporean company. And that's then after that I slowly started moving from there. But yeah, in a nutshell, that's what it was.
Right, and you mentioned about whatever opportunities you got, you just grabbed that opportunity to learn more. So, how did that mindset grow in yourself, and why was
uh,
that? Also, through those volunteering activities, where those help you develop a mindset or to grow globally, or what was the outcomes of those opportunities, and how did that passion or that drive to like to grab every opportunity during that time came to your mind?
That's a really good question, and honestly, like it's such a good question that I'm thinking of it now. Like as you were asking it, I'm asking myself as well, how did it come? But I think like the core of it is, reading books mostly. And I used to be very curious about things from a very young age. And I think everybody has this core nature. Everybody is curious about things, right? So I suggest, like reading a lot of books. And as I read, because I come from a very small town in India called Guwahati. And when we talk about entrepreneurship, still to date, there's not a very big tech culture, startup culture, entrepreneurship culture. Yeah, few people are doing it, but it's not as big as what you expect in like bigger cities like maybe Dhaka, Delhi, or other Singapore and all these. So how then do you know about there's a different world, out there? Is I think the answer to that is just books. The more you read, there's a different side. It's where I'm staying, what people around me are doing. There's a completely different perception. There's a different people, and the more you read about these, read books, I think you get motivated, and a lot of things that happens in you. So I read a lot of books, and honestly, all these books kind of shaped me into you know being curious, not being afraid to talk to people, and just putting yourself out there. So I think that when I started reading, I was like, okay, I have to, like, opportunity will not just come to me, I have to go for it. And at a time, I think when you're in your school and in your college, you really don't know what you want to do in the future, to be honest. Like, till you're 18 or 19, um, it's very hard to specifically know that this is what I'm going to do. So I was in that state of confusion as well, very haphazard state where I don't know anything. I don't know, I still don't know what I really want. I think people towards very late stages also, they don't know what they want. There are many examples. I think people who are studying for doctor and suddenly they become a boxer. Like one of my friends in school was like, everybody was shocked. But so the point is that you never know what is the core of what you really want to do. So I feel like putting your hands, I felt like trying it out. First I tried it in fashion, it didn't work out, I wasn't so excited about it. Then I went to slush, and like it was like, this is the people, this is the kind of people I want to work with. And I also don't know, because when you start as an intern, the advantage of starting as an intern is you get to do everything. You get to do marketing, you get to do sales, you get to do comms, you get to go to events, you got to do like everything. So when you're an intern, you have a still a better idea of, this is probably what I think that I am more inclined towards, is probably sales, or that kind of thing. So I think that was an benefit for me, because when I started out as an intern, I kind of got a feeling that, okay, this is what I want to do. I like to talk to people. I'm very curious about how people started their journeys, and journalism was the best thing for that, and for me at that time. So journalism is like, just talking, trying to get to the bottom of stories, try to understand how things work. So that's how it kind of came up for me. I think reading books, because sometimes, also having the right kind of people around you, motivated people who share the same vision. But for me personally, growing up in a small city, I didn't have a lot of that. Like, people were, doing the regular, like doctor, engineer, and IAS, and they had, of course, there were different circles for that. There was not a circle that I felt very drawn to, so books was the only thing that could give me company, and that could, talk to me at that time. Yeah.
Definitely. And like in our when we are when we were in school, we studied a lot, thriller books, detective books, and it helped. I think reading novels or books actually introduces you with the outer world. It helps. It is the first gateway to go global.
Yes.
The places around the world, they're traveling about people, culture. It's also in those books. And I want to mention, the book of Jules Verne. You know, um,
Yes. Yes.
he is like amazing, the most powerful man to use imagination skill. I have read in few. I don't know whether those were valid or not, that he mostly did not travel to those places that he mentioned in his book, in his novels. And the way he put it is so accurately, it's even who visited there, they could not even describe the about the place like him, because it's the power of imagination. So through books, so yeah, you can immerse yourself in the world of knowledge, wisdom, and you can connect with the outer worlds. So this is the thing, when you read books, your mindset of exploration grows. So this is very important point, that what we actually also promote, that you have to study, you have to do research, so that you can keep yourself up to date with the information and you can explore. So this is a very important thing. And how do you think about internship? Like most of the cases, in terms of Bangladesh students after graduation, they take very some portion of them take it very lightly about internship. That, oh, I just go and just return home. So how do you think about the importance of doing internships or internship for university going students? How doing internship can help them if they want to go for corporate sector?
I think internship is very important. I don't think it should be taken lightly. Internship itself, like I said, before, it's the only place where you get that much amount of freedom. I don't know. So I did an internship in a very like fast moving tech startup. So it was so exciting for me, because you get to put your hands on pretty much everything, and it's like an exploration. You get to explore so many different aspects of things. And I think it really it really pushes you. I think that if you take it very seriously, y- you learn a lot about yourself, you learn a lot about your own skills. Forget like other things, you learn a lot about yourself, and that is very important. Initially, it's very important to learn about yourself, I feel. Is because sometimes what I see, some people just do it as a formality, just to get a thing on the resume, that, oh yeah, I interned in this place. I just got an internship there, so it was just like a normal, just something to have on the resume for them. But
Yes, show off all that. Yeah, I did an internship. That's it. And then they just finish it and come back crying. There is no job opportunity. There is nothing for me.
very
Seems like
true.
companies are there like family business. They will just come take this seat of managing director. You just graduated and this seat is for you, metaphorically.
Yeah, and I 100% I agree. You you need to take it very seriously, because internship, take it as an exploration. You're exploring yourself. And I have a very different kind of thought process on this. Whenever my juniors, they ask me about internship, and I, first of all, be also very selective about the company you're interning with. Because I feel like when you're an intern, okay, there are two kinds of people. Okay, one who are very specific, like they know what they want. Like this is um from a very let's say 17, 18 itself, they know that, okay, I want to do software engineering, I want to do software engineering. I want to do coding, I want to do coding. And they have that surety inside of them, ki this is what they want to do. And for them, yeah, internship is the process of internship is like, they select the companies that are doing a good job around web development and all of that. And then they do it with the mindset that this is what they want to do, and this is what they want to go forward in. And that is a different like that is a different category. Second category is where personally I was, very confused individual, but also an individual with a drive that I want to do something, I want to know myself, but I don't know what to do. But I want to intern. So in that way, you know when you intern, try to intern at a company that is kind of giving you hands-on experience on all roles, and doesn't, like, sometimes I see corporate company. And it's also, you told me about you mentioned that one kind of people that, they just do it like that. But I think there are some companies, they just make you do all the boring work. Like interns means all the boring work should go to them, like all the research work, menial work, where you sit and you're just doing nothing, kind of like it's very boring. But I want to let everybody know that there are companies out there who let you do everything, who have that mindset. And also, something that I want to tell people is that I have personally seen in my career that a company does not need to have a job opening, like for you to go and approach them and say that you want to intern. So when I interned first, I had literally no skill. And but I went to the company and I told them that, just give me an opportunity. The pay doesn't have to be so much, but just give me an opportunity to, work and, to intern and do help the company. And
Absolutely.
no matter,
This
even if it's a very big company, and if you approach with that mindset, I can guarantee you, like 70 to 80%, they will be more than willing to have you in the team. You get a
definitely.
you get a great thing on your resume. You get to learn from the company. You get to work, and just, and they companies want people with motivation, who are driven. They don't, like, I
Definitely,
don't
yeah.
is yeah, I don't know how it is in Dhaka, but now the world is becoming global remote. It doesn't, from sitting in Dhaka, you can get a job in, global, especially in the Web3 space, where I'm more prominent, where which makes a large chunk of what I do. But you just need to have the drive. It doesn't even matter if you have, let's say, 70-80%, or if you have 60-70%, but you have the drive. You have the drive that you want to help the company. You are going to you It's not very hard to find an internship, to be very honest.
Definitely. And the thing that you mentioned, it's not about internship, it's about, like job also. In case
Yeah,
of if they want to explore entrepreneurial journey as well. So it's about proactiveness. I know my skill sets, and if I say, for example, I want to work for ABC company, it's a global company, for example. So if I study their mission, vision, their activities, and if I can match my skills and say I can help you grow in that sector through this because I have these skills. Companies, they will definitely, in most cases, will reach out to him or her to discuss
100%.
further. This is like it's like this is happening in most cases, in some cases as well. So the thing is, like how it's about how we think. It's our mentality, mindset. I mean, there are opportunities, work opportunities, but like maybe I'm candidates are not approaching in the right way. So yeah,
Yes, 100% I agree. I agree. And, one has to get out of that mindset that it's just a job. I'm just going to, just going to earn money. But I mean, some people have that, and it's fine to have that. But I think if you want to really grow, like if you want to like just somebody like rock star, like just put you in a rocket and you just go up, I think you need to show that hunger. And I have seen so many like companies, so many people get internship in companies without even a degree, to be very honest. Like I've seen this in Singapore, I've seen this. To be honest, like I want to go a little bit on that side. I also did not have a degree, like, but I still got an opportunity to work as a journalist in E27. So it was a different story. I don't encourage people like to not, not complete their studies, because it's very important. But uh, what cannot be compromised is the drive and the way you approach, like you said. It's very important how you approach.
so can you share the journey of like make rapes PR? How did you come up with the idea, and what you are doing with it, and how you're creating impact, and your journey as a founder? If you share some brief on that story or journey.
Sure. So, how I started, the first part of your question, how I started Make Raves. Um, I started out as a journalist, like I shared that background with you. And I was not satisfied at some point, because sure, I was learning about, founders' stories, and, they were telling me about how they started the companies, if they, how they, similar to, what what is happening with me as well right now. Like I'm sharing my story with you, but I was not satisfied, because I wanted to get to the nitty gritty. Like I wanted to know, I wanted to get the whole experience of bird's eye view of the media sector. So I was already always interested in the communications, media sector, startups, tech sector. So I was like, sometimes when I interviewed founders, all the answers used to be so like, so scripted. You know what I mean? Sometimes it's not a popular opinion, but as a journalist, I felt like everything is rosy, but when they talk to me, when I ask them questions, they answer my questions, it's very rosy. Nobody, talks about failures, and nobody talks about the really nitty gritty stuff. So I wanted to, there's another side of the media comms industry, that is PR, public relations. And these are the people that, train founders how to talk to journalists. These are the people that, craft compelling narratives that we journalists want to write about. So that part really caught my attention. I was like, I want to get to the bottom of this, and I want to understand in a bird's eye view how this industry actually works. So then I joined a PR company, Yap Global, where I was a PR consultant. And it gave me a lot of experience, and it gave me, opportunities to work with leading Web3 clients. And we worked with Polygon Honeys, we worked with the first company that came up with ZK technology, that is, so that is, right now, that is the most talked about technology in the Web3 space. So I was there for a while, and then after a few months, I felt like I wanted to do freelancing. So I started freelancing on my own. That time, Eat Barcelona approached me, and, we organized a very successful event. And slowly after that, I started gaining, a lot of companies started coming to me, right? And then I was like, okay, now it's hard to do all the work by myself. Let's make it an agency. So that's how the agency started. And we are not very old, so we're about 1.5 years old that we've been in the space. Um, and yeah, that's pretty much how Make Rave started. I forgot what was the second part of your question, if you don't mind asking.
How you're like creating impact according
Yeah.
to you, like maybe with the information or knowledge you're sharing with the community. So how do you see that your initiative is creating impact maybe in the society, in the community, or in the country?
Yeah, that way I think Meet the Global Leader, your series, and what I'm trying to do is pretty much similar. It's sharing stories of people so that it empowers, it encourages more people to kind of step into entrepreneurship. And that's what we do, right? We have a lot of clients that we get them published on different publications. We get them published on E27 Tech in Asia, where they just people want to know, right? Like people, when I was at least me, when I was in university, when I was in school, I'm sure you as well, like you wanted to know the story behind this person, and how the company started.
Exact stories. If I just sorry to interrupt, the exact stories, not like like show off. That most cases, oh, I did that, I did those. Like there are some cases people actually did not follow, but to make it more crispy, they actually shared those lies. So we
Absolutely.
the way we want to do it, select the right people, not the like the liars. I must say that we don't want to share the cheesy stories that is
Crazy
not true.
story. Exactly, and that's also something, like I told you, right, before, that's something I noticed, that most of the entrepreneurs are very cheesy, because they get trained. I didn't know, once I entered PR, I realized how much training goes behind before you face the cameras or you talk to a journalist. That And then when I was a PR, I saw a completely different side. Right? I saw the dark side. So the one is the flowery side, and one is the dark side. So in the PR space, that's why as clients also, we are very picky with who we pick as clients, because we don't want people to just go and share misinformation, and just push people into a wrong direction. So that is one way. And also, I think whenever you're in the space as a leader, whenever, it doesn't matter if you're an entrepreneur or not, if you're, let's say, even if you're like a brother or your manager, you already have responsibility to create impact. Like, it doesn't always have to be just entrepreneurs who are creating impact, right? The people that I work with, um I have a big responsibility. And the way, I have a very flexible policy, like when it comes to my agency. These are small ways, just making sure of their mental health, just making sure that they're not being overworked, just making sure that the interns are not being like hoarded on all the boring stuff, just trying to make them grow. These are all small ways that we create impact. And that's, but I'm sure like everybody else also has like a similar way that they create impact, but that's just how Make Raves works.
Absolutely. And you also worked as a mentor for Make
Yes,
Sense.
yes,
So
yes, yes.
how do you define that role, and how do you see mentorship for students? I mean, do they seek mentorship like students, for professionals, or entrepreneur? How mentor or mentors can help them like go extra mile?
Mentors are a very big, I think, is a very big responsibility. And also I think it's one role to be taken very seriously. So in my mentorship role, the way I mentored was, my expertise is media comms, telling store, like get trying to help them get more brand visibility and stuff. So along those lines, it was I helped some startups kind of gain that extra traction. But I feel like, there were different mentors for different kind of different divisions. Like there were for sales, there was for marketing, and there was some for overall. VCs are more overall kind of mentor. So that was one experience that was very enriching. And when you start up, like first one, when you start, there's so much confusion, oh my god. Like when startup, I used to see startups, they are so confused. And it's actually a very, it feels very fulfilling to give them a direction which they really need. um, and I think that was one of the very nice experiences that I had. Other than that, I would say, like, if anybody is in that space nowadays, I see, like, mentorship has also started becoming a paid thing. Like, this is also something that I don't like, and I don't stand against, and I don't stand for it. Like, it's like, people put themselves out there, but they also, ask a certain consultation fees. I feel like sometimes, just mentorship, just mentor. Like, people are so confused, and people can need that extra push. So for me personally, as much as I try, like, as much as I can, I try to, give the direction to my juniors, to my junior colleagues, or like to anybody who's asking me for it. Um, but yeah, that's a trend that I don't like, because let's just all help, everyone. And with it's not much. Mentorship doesn't have to be like every day. It can be like once in a week, or like once in 2 weeks if you're very busy. Um, so and it doesn't cost much. To be honest, if I know something about the media industry, and somebody wants to come and ask me, and like, hey, how do you get into TechCrunch? I have a funding announcement out, what do I do? I don't need to charge $60 to just share whatever information I have. It will literally take me like 15 to 20 minutes to explain to them the process and how they can get the best out of it. So another thing that I'm not very keen about, I like something like Meet the Global Leader, where people can just come and listen, and get ideas. But I seen certain things that I'm not, like, I'm not for. But yeah.
Absolutely, like because whatever we do, we always have a responsibility to giving something back to the community or the country, I mean, or to the world as well, because I'm a part of it. So like information, what we believe is very powerful, because the amount of information we can share through this platform, or the like as much information as possible we try to like provide through these platforms, so that like it helps students, entrepreneurs to like take decision based on that. Okay, oh, so this is the way if I want to go. These are the like suggestions or advice. If
Yeah.
I avoid or take it, I may like go extra mile or customize my journey. So this
Yeah,
is
and
very
if I may just say one more thing, if anybody is listening, like, tuned till now, if anybody is listening till now, is that, if you ever listen to something and you want to reach out to, like, maybe Mahbub or maybe myself, like, just feel free to share your questions. The more, I think, Mahmoud, you'll agree with me, but let's say, if you see a student like coming to you asking you questions, you like it, right? Like, that's something that you like from inside, because it
yeah,
gives you, like, okay, I'm adding value to someone's life. So don't, like, to anybody listening, like, don't feel like, you're troubling anybody or you're pestering. People like it. The more you approach with a good intention, with the intention to learn and grow, I think that it's very much appreciated, and the right people will give you the right advice that will really help you. And maybe you could even land a job, like, through
yeah.
asking and, networking.
Today's world, like we should seek more information, because like the more information we get, we individually or a data analyst in our personal life, like or professional as well. The more information you have or we have, it will help us to take more better decision. So this is very important, like to seek information, to seek knowledge. This is actually a great way to take better decision. So what do you think, I mean, if anyone wants to explore their career in PR sector, so what are the skills do you think, or knowledge, basic knowledge, students or should have if they want to like start there or explore their career in PR industry?
Thanks for that question. And I think that PR is a space, right? Like, it's a very unheard of space. Like, when I go and say PR, most people don't understand what it is. And I think even in schools and universities has barely, like, shared of, like, how many teachers have, like, talked about, people talk about comms, communications, people talk about journalism, but nobody really talks about PR. But if people have to, if you one has to understand PR, whatever news that we read, or at least in my industry, whatever news that you read, most of it comes from PR. Like PR people, they create narratives that journalists, so to help journalists write compelling stories. So journalists also do, like journalists are all, they have to do their research and everything. But PR also, it's an industry where you kind of sometimes you can mold a story. If you're really good at it, you can mold a story, you can share it with a journalist, and journalists, they kind of share the story with the world. So PR is like kind of the middleman, in getting like stories. So if you have a funding news, sometimes people go to a PR, and then the PR goes and shares it with the journalist, and then you see all the news that comes out at the same time. Who times it? It's the PR people who give, who give the kind of, who share this information with them. And then like that's basically what a PR does. And also, in event management, let's say Slush, I was personally interning in the PR section. So what a PR person will do, let's say at an event level, is, kind of make sure that the guests, like, all the information is out for the guests, to write about the bios for the guests, make sure that they're being looked after, and also, share this information with media. So they're like kind of like, they're between the, let's say, the speakers and the journalists. And I think like a lot of the skills one needs to become a journalist is pretty much the same amount of skills, except PR is a lot more strategic work, like timing, situations. When do you get a story out? Okay, let's say, uh, right now, in the past, like COVID was trending. So who are the CEOs who are working, who are already doing remote work before COVID? We try to get those CEOs to share the story. So before COVID, nobody was interested in remote working. So PR is also a lot about timing. When a story will stick with people, what timing should I share a story? Because sometimes, if I share a story about COVID now, like barely anybody will read it, because it's not something that's trending. So let's say journalism with a little bit more strategic thinking is PR. But also PR, it's not, I don't think it's, like for journalism you have schools and universities. For PR there's no such thing. So anybody who's doing journalism can easily enter PR. It's not, so there's no such, prerequisite like you need to have this skill. But anybody who's a little bit, who wants to do a little bit more strategic work rather than just writing about stories and, researching work, and there are people who enjoy that as well. But for me, I needed a little bit, I wanted a little bit more strategic work. And if you're somebody who loves to, go to events, and somebody who's a people's person as well, PR is a very rewarding industry for sure.
Wonderful. Thank you for sharing your insights. And as we are almost at the end of our session, can you share some advice for university going students, how what skills they should like develop before graduation, and what knowledge they can develop before graduation, so if they want to go for professional sector, that will help them like explore irrespective of their major.
Yeah, that's a great question as well, and I'm happy to share my insights. As a university student, I feel like, if you're very sure, of what line you want. Like certain people, like my friends, they are very certain that they want to do chart and financial, they want to become joint financial analyst, and they have, a certain like path that they want to do. And yeah, just be very focused and determined. And I think that is one way. And the other bunch of people that I resonate more with is more the confused ones that are not really sure of which path they want to, um, choose. But I would suggest that more than skills, right, focus on, I think, number one is surrounding yourself with the right friends. Like even if you're with friends, talk about startups, talk about, places that you can intern with, Surround yourself with the right people. And also, if your friends are not talking about it, maybe you can start talking about it, or read books about anything that interests you. Soft skills is so necessary nowadays, because, to be honest, if you have the right soft skills, if you have that determination, if a company sees that determination, that drive, and that intention for you to really, um, that you have that drive, that you want to, make a difference, you want to make an impact, they're more likely to pick you over somebody who has slightly better grades, or who has better grades, or who has one or two extra skills. A person with the um, right, let's say drive, motivation, right right aptitude, is more likely to, get a job. So I would say, when you're in a university and school, surround yourself with the right people. It really matters, who you're. This is the thing that will really mold you. So if you are, you're surrounding yourself with people that are not very interested in entrepreneurship, or let's say who's not very interested in, who just want to do, yeah, who are just like playing around, and they're just doing other stuff, you won't get into that mindset. Having the right mindset is so important, and I would put that focus more on having the right skills. Skills will come, like, let's say, if you have the right, you can do anything if you have the right mindset, if you have that motivation. So skills will follow, but just try to improve your, um, improve your mindset, work on your body, like try to do meditation, try to, go for a walk, go for a run, try to get into those circles where, there are entrepreneurs. There are so many entrepreneurs who are so happy, that even I think, like, I know an entrepreneur from Dhaka, Kishore, right? He is such an easy to approach guy, and he has such great ideas, and he's a visionary, and he's really somebody that. But he is also, at the same time, he's very open. Anybody can just go and talk to him. He's very out there. So I think, do all these things, work, try to get into the right mindset, talk to the right people, and focus. Focus, and the right skill will come, and the right job will come. There's no way it's not going to come, if you do all of this.
Definitely, and this is actually true. There is a saying that if you we hang out with 5 millionaires, you'll be the sixth one. So if you hang out with five like average people, you'll be the sixth one. So
Yeah.
this is absolutely true, and it's universal. So maybe it's up to you. Maybe you can like change your circle, not change your circle, you can develop new circle based on your interest, and you can hang out with those people, or you can seek information or knowledge based on your interest. Then you can like the mindset will grow. So it's very
Yeah.
very important. And thank you so much, Shagun, for short but very crispy and wonderful information and insights you have shared with us, and the advice for the students. And we look forward to seeing more good works from you, and very best of luck. And if our audience, if you have any questions, you can reach out to her through LinkedIn. And if you have any extra questions, you can directly reach out to her and exchange your questions.
And I just want to say, thank you so much for having me. And another thing that I want to share is that we have an event that we're working with this year, Dow Tokyo. It was very successful last year, and ETH Tokyo as well. So if anybody, any audience who's listening and is interested in, let's say, who want to get a taste of, communications, PR, happy, feel free to reach out. Like, I'm already looking for some motivated individuals, interns who are interested in this space. So yeah, I would be more than happy to listen and, work with them. So
Absolutely, that would be great. We will also share the news with the students. And Sharon, thank you so much, and have a good day. And we wish you very best of luck. And thank you for your time and information. It is going to really help the audience of our session to with knowledge and information.
Yeah, thank you so much. Lovely chatting with you.
Okay, have a good day.
Bye.